Okay. Oops, let me pull this closer so everybody can hear me. What is up? Just coming to. We haven't streamed in a few days. So just coming in to kind of say hi and I guess chat about what's going on in the gypsy community right now. It's kind of getting crazy. And then just if we want to talk a little bit about the oops, let me turn on my light. There we go. See me better. Yay. The Chad Daybell case. Been kind of wanting to talk about that, like coming from the perspective I can answer like questions about what the hey was he thinking? Creating the 144, thinking they were transfigured beings. If you have any questions about what that is, I can do my best to answer some of them. Cause so, I find it interesting that Fancy went from I didn't go search down all these videos and line them up. I probably should have so I could show everybody this. But so a couple months ago, I go on Fancy's live. She had just found out from Nina that she needs to go to Chillicothe. She has no choice. They can't appear by video, anything. And she was announcing she turned from kind of anger about having to go to excitement because she's like, okay, yo, there you are, 13th hour. Oh, interesting. Yeah, we're gonna have to learn each other's schedule. But I was like, if I don't go live tonight, then I don't go live till Monday because tomorrow's Sunday. I don't go live on Sunday. And I already haven't gone live in like almost a week, maybe. I don't know. It's been a while. And so I'm like, if I don't go live tonight, then yeah, I don't go live for 2 more days. And it's like, oh my gosh. But I got to talk about this before the 9th because I think Fancy's got to go to court on the 9th. Because I think Monday is when Fancy goes to court. So I got to talk about this before she goes to court. We got to laugh and talk about this. Nobody else is going to touch this because everybody's afraid to touch Fancy, but I'm going to touch it because I'm not afraid to touch Fancy. Hey, W. So, because this is funny what's going on, 13th hour. Have you heard what's going on? So, she gets excited. She gets excited because um she's going to meet Sarah for the first time. And she was trying to get donations from everybody, and she was crying about, but at least she was going to get to meet Sarah for the first time, like in person. I mean, she's already, met Sarah. She knows Sarah because they stream together every single day. That's her new partner. Pink Cat. They call her Pink Cat. Hey, Angela. Dubs, Angela. Yay. Um, so there's two Sarahs in Fancy's story. They're both named Sarah Anderson, but one is Sarah Beth Anderson, and she lives here in the US, somewhere around Kentucky, because Fancy lives in Kentucky, I think. It's Kentucky, right? Yeah, so Pink Cat is Sarah Beth Anderson. Okay. And then Sarah Jane Anderson lives in the UK. And she's the one that keeps dropping dead and blaming it on Fancy, saying that Fancy is bullying her and causing her to drop dead. Do they? I didn't hear about Kentucky having a shooter on the loose. I know there was a shooting down in Georgia, and that's a hard case to touch right now, the shooter down in Georgia. Because I just got yelled at not too long ago about about straight people killing trans people. And this is our second or third, right? Second trans school shooter. He was shooting on the interstate. Let's look at, okay, Kentucky. Let's look at this. Whoops. Let's shooter on the loose. Okay, let's go look at this. Kentucky shooter on the loose. Okay. Okay, so several people. Okay, wow. Okay, here we go. 5 people shot, wounded in Kentucky. All 5 victims are in stable condition, and authorities are searching for one other shooter, or for one shooter. Okay, one shooter. Okay. Why is it not showing me live what I'm doing? Why is it not showing what my screen is showing? Why is this not live? Hey, Chewies! Oh man, school shootings going on right now is the thing. See, this is another thing. If we want to talk about where DCFS fails, so a kid just in Georgia just shoots up the school. I guess the FBI knew about it, and the FBI contacted the father and let him know that his son is online talking about doing a school shooting. The father does nothing. The father gave his son a gun, doesn't take it back, doesn't do anything. The FBI, all they do is call the dad. They don't even call DCFS. Where is DCFS in all of this? I thought we had a system in place to take care of troubled children. CPS. I thought that's what CPS is for. So where is CPS in all of this? Why is CPS? Why did the FBI not call CPS? Why did this kid just get left to his own devices to unalive 4 people and injure 9? Like, I am the school shooting in Georgia should have never ever happened, because that child should have been taken out of that home. DCFS should have been called, but no, DCFS is too busy taking good children out of good homes and leaving no, it's not bad children, troubled children. They're leaving troubled children once again in the home, not taking care of troubled children. I mean, this is what the country built CPS for. Yeah, 2 lousy parents, the FBI being stupid. The FBI should have been calling DCFS, should have been calling CPS. CPS should have been taking this child out of the home and sticking him in a freaking psych ward. It's really stupid, because when I heard all the details about the Georgia shooting, it's like, oh, there's a bunch of people online that knew about it. Oh, the FBI knew about it. The dad knew about it. It's like everybody knew about it and they let it happen. And this is the sucky part about our country, is we keep letting these things happen. And now, see, in the Georgia shooting, like, were they kids that died or were they adults or both? It's like now people lost their children because the FBI and stuff were too dumb to call CPS, and CPS should have been involved immediately. People online should have been called. Us streamers get doxxed. People call streamers call CPS on other streamers. But 2 kids and 2 teachers. So this is really dumb, because streamers and stuff are busy doxing each other and sending CPS to each other's homes and doxing each other's kids and everything. But this kid is online and he's bragging about, as soon as I get old enough, I'm going to do this. Nobody online calls CPS. The FBI does not call CPS. The dad doesn't call CPS himself. Instead, they just hand this kid a gun and say, do what you're going to do. It's like this country wants to ruin everything. They want to take good kids out of good homes, leave troubled kids in bad homes, in troubled homes, in abusive homes. And so good kids get traumatized, and troubled kids get to traumatize and unalive other people's children. And so 2 parents are planning funerals right now. And 2 teachers, their families are planning funerals right now. And 9 people are in the hospital fighting for their lives. Oh, and that's fine. No, W, this is kind of important to talk about. I mean, I'm so disappointed in our system right now. Yeah, no, I think isn't Fancy going to court on the 9th? I was like, I got to touch down on this before the 9th because I think Fancy's supposed to be in court on the 9th. I'm interested to see how this case turns out. Because so Fancy's excited to meet Sarah. And then I don't know the details of what's true and what's not true. Because I guess Sarah was 4 hours late to the meeting spot. Because Sarah sleeps into like 3, 4 o'clock. And Sarah doesn't like to. So Sarah sleeps during half the day. Like, Sarah doesn't get up early. She sleeps half the day. She stays up at nights and she sleeps half the day. They finally meet up. They're driving all night to Chillicothe. I guess Fancy asked Sarah, do you have highways turned on your GPS system? Are we taking the freeways? Are we taking the right roads to Chillicothe? And Sarah's like, yeah, we're fine. You know, it's guiding us just fine. Turns out they were taking back roads. But they got to Chillicothe 3 hours prior to 9 a.m. when court started. So Fancy had enough time to take a shower, blow dry her hair, curl her ugly hair, put on her makeup, get dressed, go downstairs, have breakfast. Hey, Miss Mama. Fight with Mike Stanfield. Put on a ton of videos. Sarah did say in the videos, like to chest bump me. Fancy's the one who started using the words. It's like all these videos, I hope they hit court. I hope somebody sent all these videos to the judge. Because Fancy's the one who started saying, and sorry, into the weeds, if I get this wrong, but Laura said that Fancy was pushing Sarah to press charges, saying that they had a slam dunk case. He assaulted Sarah. It was a slam dunk case. So Fancy pushed everybody to go to the police station and file charges. So they did. They come back. Pink Hat Sarah is nowhere to be seen. The rumors start flying that her and Fancy broke up. But Fancy shuts down all the rumors, tells everybody to stop asking about Sarah. She has some health problems. She's sick. Don't ask about her. She's fine, guys. She's fine. But then all of a sudden they do break up. They do. There's different stories why they break up. Brandy and Kendall feature Pink Cat Sarah on their channel. Sarah tells her side of the story, but then they find out that Sarah lied about some of the story. I don't know who lied. Fancy starts spinning this crazy story that Pink Cat Sarah made her trip so horrible. And she's got this like story now about buying all this food and spending all this money and the hotels and blah blah blah, and Pink Cat Sarah wasting some of Fancy's day because she was too sick to go anywhere. So the story goes from, oh, we went to all these fun places in Chillicothe, to, no, Sarah made my days hell. And now the new spin, here's the new spin if you guys haven't heard it, because this is great. Remember how I told you that Pink Cat Sarah was driving down the back roads instead of the freeways that Fancy wanted to go down? So Fancy is now claiming to the courts that Pink Cat Sarah kidnapped her, and she wants to file kidnapping charges. Man, streamers punishing other streamers and wanting to file charges. You got Morbid shouting out, filing charges. Like everybody's screaming at each other, I'm going to file charges against you. And if you talk about me, I'm going to file charges against you. If you say my name, I'm going to file charges against you. If you say my name, I'm going to dox you. I'm going to file charges. Yes, Fancy is now saying that Sarah kidnapped her and that she was kidnapped and she wants Pink Cat Sarah punished. And I'm like, what? I told my husband about it today. And my husband's just laughing at it, going, no, that's just dumb. You can't file charges for kidnapping. You can't do that. You can't do that. You can't file charges for kidnapping just because somebody didn't take the freeway you wanted them to take. Just because they took a different freeway than you wanted. You can't file kidnap charges. She is unhinged. She is majorly unhinged right now. She's filing kidnap charges. Kidnapping. She wears wigs. So when she was in Chillicothe, she wore a very curly blonde wig. And then that got them in a fight with Nina, because Nina thought that a white person wearing a wig is racist. I mean, everybody's getting at Pink Cat Sarah for every little thing. She wears a wig, and Nina calls her racist. Let me show you. Let me see if I can show you Pink Cat Sarah. But I can go back on Fancy's and show you. I can go back on Fancy's videos and show you Pink Cat Sarah. And it's just so crazy because these videos tell an opposite story of what because when they got back from Chillicothe, Fancy for a whole week was like, "Oh, you guys don't don't bother Sarah. She's sick, she's not feeling well and blah blah blah." And now all of a sudden then they're broke up, and then Sarah's this horrible person that made Fancy have a horrible day. And then now she's a kidnapper. She's a kidnapper. Pink Cat Sarah is a kidnapper now, it turns out. Okay, this is Pink Cat Sarah right here. Let's see.
I was just shut down on TikTok again. There was no bullying. There was no harassment happening. I was
so
that she was born with, and that would have shown
this long
immediate
blonde
signs.
Wig here in her profile picture. So I don't know, you guys seen her profile picture
of something being wrong. It did. You can look at her in that freaking basket talking about her fucking cranium and know that something is wrong with her face.
Let's see.
You can see it.
Videos. Let's see. And apparently Fancy might be talking to Natasha Cooper right now about Pink Cat Sarah, because Pink Cat Sarah called Natasha Cooper like yesterday or something. Let's see. Trying to find the video. Okay. See, when they come back from Chillicothe,
aside from the fact that it was a lot of misinformation, and today my mother and I were the only two people that weren't lawyers or associated with the Good Wives Network that were able to sit in.
But if you listen to what Alora says, she says, as I was told. Or not as I was told, but long last week. There's them at the pool. Let's see. See, right, lean liar. Let's see. Where is it? Where's the video with Pink Cat Sarah? Is it in this car video?
Have a good one from the Good Wives, serving up true crime, one dish at a time.
See, this is where Fancy...
We are under no obligation whatsoever to release that to the public.
Oh, ever. This is where she's yelling at everybody. I'm not going to give you the video of Sarah getting chest bumped. She's yelling at her fans. Like, gosh, she yells at... I don't get how she still has fans when she just constantly yells at them and puts them down and... just like to take back roads to avoid traffic. Well, yeah, like for me, I hate driving on the freeway next to diesel trucks. So if I can take a back road sometimes, I will. My dad was a diesel truck driver, and he would take back roads to avoid tolls. Because back east, back there on the east side of the United States, they don't have freeways. They have toll roads. Here on the west side where I live, we have freeways. We just drive down the road. We don't have to pay a toll or anything. Where's the video with Pink Hat Sarah? Did Fancy take it down? I bet you Fancy took it down. I wonder if Fancy took the videos with Pink Hat Sarah down. Oh, wait, let's see. What's this? Okay, hold on. Proof that Nina called Fancy racist. See, this is the receipt I should have had that night when I stepped up on Morbid's panel. I had the wrong receipts. Hold on. This is the correct receipts. Hold on. Okay, here we go. Here's the correct receipt.
It's getting a little cold in here, though.
You know what? It's a dual, so you can put it on whatever you want.
Oh, good.
You got your butt warmer on?
No, I don't.
Well, why not?
I don't know. I don't know how to do it.
Sit and warm up.
Because she has a lawyer, so she doesn't have to appear. If I had had time to get a lawyer, it wouldn't have been.
Yeah.
We had no time.
No,
Look, that's really far.
You can hear Sarah, but you can't see her.
I don't know where she gets her beautiful wigs, but apparently she gets beautiful wigs.
And
So-
sleeves and extensions. But I do have really pretty.
Go past this light. Then at the next one, use the right lane.
Merge onto I-70 West toward Jonesburg.
There you go. It is sketchy, and it is wrong as hell.
Manchester, okay, way station.
You also need to reach out to the shade room. It's on site, unwinded with the
At the light, use the right lane.
To turn right.
the Armin Wiggins show and Mob Radio. If you can get the Barb support, they'll really help you out. The Barb show up.
I
I don't
Are
know,
you-
honey.
Right onto East Valley.
Or
They're
all
not
kinds of
talking about the
trash.
wigs.
My mods don't take them out.
We were on the
She's fucking daughters, and the extension braids are cultural and used as a
yes, this is Fancy. Well, yeah, this is them going home from Chillicothe. So this isn't exactly her being kidnapped if Sarah's taking the roads that Fancy wants her to take. But yeah, basically this is Fancy being kidnapped.
protective hairstyle.
You can hear the little Garmin thing in the background trying to direct him to the freeways.
Okay, what are you talking about, Olivia? I don't know what you mean, but that's cool. Whatever. So
Is he?
you also need to reach out to the shade room.
Lane.
To turn right.
The Armin Wiggins show and Mob Radio. If you can get the Barb support, they'll really help you out. The Barb show hairstyle. No.
In 1 mile, at the
ability to have a
First exit
continuation.
onto West Veterans Memorial Parkway.
He didn't deny it. The judge didn't do anything. He didn't issue anything. He didn't say anything. His clerk just called me back. The clerk just called me back and told me he says that he can't do it by
I don't hear her calling for help. Do you guys hear her calling for help? I don't hear her calling for help.
Zoom. And so, yeah, and I said, so what does that mean? And it means, she goes, well, it means that you have to appear. And I said, but how does that work when I haven't been served? And she said, I don't know. And I'm like, did he this in the email? Understand? So I was like,
At the roundabout, take the
First exit onto West Veterans Memorial Parkway.
there's the roundabout.
Take the first exit
Yeah.
to West.
They didn't really talk about the wigs. They were talking about the wigs because Nina called them racist for being white people wearing wigs. Names where the person is annoying, they give them back. That's Fancy. Yes, they're like, just take her back. Calling her husband, please meet me. Take her back home. Yeah, who would kidnap Fancy? How long do you think you'd last if he kidnapped her in a car with her? But apparently, Fancy might even be. I don't know what's going on in this little Gypsy Rose Community Cult because Fancy might be talking to Natasha Cooper now. Oops. Oh, what was that? Oh, that was something else that fell off. I need to quit playing with that and breaking it. Let's see. So yeah, all of this is nuts. See, Kendall Grant, see Christy and Natasha. There, Christy says she never wrote. Let's see, let's go to lives, maybe. I think it's
That happens every day, right? No. Okay. So then she's like, well, I'm like, so you find this out and then you still go to the other party at Gypsy's apartment?
There was two, by the way.
okay.
Think is the truth and it's clearly not, and you just think it's funny. I've had many conversations with you about this. I'm done. I'm not coming in your lives anymore, and I will not be on any panels with you. And several of the members of your panel are people who talk shit about me anyway. So no, ma'am, I'm not coming. So then she runs back to the live that she's on with Melly.
You froze.
Really come back from this. I do want to say that, you know, one of the things about Brandy and why Brandy always came back around.
Oh yeah, and Brandy, I see that there's some weird going on because Brandy made up with Fancy after Brandy featured Pink Hat Sarah and everything. And they were making videos against Fancy, and now all of a sudden they're friends, guys. So why isn't anyone talk about the Fancy being kidnapped? Talk about that. Fancy is they're all the creators in the GRB community right now are threatening lawsuits. You mention their name, you play their videos, they're going to bring a lawsuit on you. I got DM'd and told not to talk about Fancy because if I talked about Fancy, she's looking to sue. So nobody's going to talk about it. Nobody's going to say anything how crazy this shit is. Like, this is crazy. Like, Fancy's, what's going on between Fancy and Pink Hat Sarah is starting to get crazier and weirder than Gypsy right now. Like, there's no more story with what's going on with Gypsy right now. Gypsy's being quiet and kind of laying low. Besides her fake kayaking video where she faked kayaking or canoeing or whatever they were doing, faking going down the river. Like Fancy has no to she has no room to talk. Sue anyone, but it won't stick. You thrown out. It is just a waste of money and time. If you hear Fancy, come to Utah and sue me. Just kidding. Be like, come on, bring it on. Come to Utah. And Fancy thinks she's a badass now that that one chick featured her on Tasha K. She was featured on Tasha K. Nobody else in the Gypsy community was featured on Tasha K. So you know, that makes Fancy like 10 times cooler than everybody else in the Gypsy community because she was featured on Tasha K, who has like millions and millions of viewers. But then those viewers probably look up the Good Wives Network. They watch her videos and probably run away. Okay, this is them talking about Sarah Jane. The chick in the UK. And now, oh, you know what's also crazy too?
Go. The tiger photograph. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm.
Now she is the spokesperson for Nick's.
And he said anything.
These guys, Jen Lu, her, and Fancy are now kind of friends. These guys have been not friends, not enemies. See her? She mods for Natasha Cooper. She's been modding for Natasha Cooper since 2018. She's been on the Gypsy Rose case since 2018 also, but she's been on Natasha Cooper's side. Because Christy talked to two creators, Fancy and Natasha. And Fancy and Natasha didn't get along because they didn't see the case eye to eye. And it was kind of split down the middle. Who do you believe? Do you believe Fancy or do you believe Natasha? Whose side are you on? Fancy or Natasha? Pick a side. You can't do both. Well, now she's doing both because she believes in Natasha Cooper. She is a very strong believer in Natasha Cooper. And so it's interesting that she is now starting to talk to Fancy. And Fancy's new little bulldog, Mac. Fancy puts her down in a funny way so it doesn't look so like Fancy's being mean. It looks like Fancy's being funny. Jen and Fancy are frenemies. Yeah, they're frenemies because she doesn't hate Fancy, but it's like, you know, like I said, she's on Natasha's side. Yeah, like Fancy trolls people that like her Jen because yeah, Jen's on Natasha's side and they've known each other since 2018. I watched after the crime scene photos dropped, I watched Jen's video about it. Because Jen is very knowledgeable. Like I said, Jen has been around since 2018. And I like Jen because she's just very straightforward with the facts. She's like, look, here's the facts of everything that's going on. And she just kind of just states everything in a nice way. She just talks to everybody in such a nice way that I'm trying to remember what her channel's called, but I can't remember.
Said anything, and
like, it's crazy that all of a sudden all these enemies or frenemies of fancies are all of a sudden like talking to Fancy now.
you know, all of this. I think for me personally, I kind of wonder if he hasn't said anything because Gypsy hasn't had the freedom to say all
And
the
see, I like the way she talks like that. She's like, for me personally, she's like, this is kind of she doesn't just state fact. She's not like Fancy and stuff where Fancy says because I say it, it's true. She's kind of like, well, here for me personally, this is what's going on. This is what I see. I think she might be a lawyer. She's very knowledgeable. I'm trying to think of what her channel's called. Let me see if I can find her under her name. Let's see. Because I used to watch her. There it is. The Ward Case Files. Yeah. The Ward Case Studies. Sorry. And I watched her video. She made a really good video about, I think it's a live. She did a live. She does lives. She did a live about, looks like she's on to Sarah Boone case instead of talking about Gypsy, which is good. I think people need to start moving off of Gypsy. It's getting stupid. Because, yeah, the only people that are still on Gypsy's talking about Gypsy right now, let's see, True Psych Ward Sister Channel, the Ward Case Studies with Jen Liu and Dr. B. Join us as we delve into true crime's most fascinating cases. Okay, she doesn't say anything about, like, whether she's a lawyer or not. She doesn't say anything, at least, in her. But looks like a month ago she stepped off the Gypsy Rose case, which is good. The Gypsy Rose case, you know what's funny? It's been covered. And then the autopsy comes out and it doesn't really reveal much. It reveals a couple small things like Dee Dee had no meds or no drugs in her system. So no sleeping pills, no nothing. Oh wow. Well, she didn't even, it looks like she didn't even really cover Gypsy Rose. Looks like she's not even really covering Gypsy Rose at all. Like she barely touched Gypsy Rose. It looks like she never even really touched down on the case too much. Dun, dun. Maybe I watched her other channel. She has another channel because she says this is one of her channels. Because I just see a lot of stuff on Gypsy Rose. Oh, here's the lawsuit about the lawsuit. See what she has to say. This is like a month ago, though. This is like 3 months ago. Wow, this is a long time ago.
Now we're going. On December 1st, 2019, John Maselli posted a blog and Patreon. The and Mia are all saying they're not true. Well, the only way to prove, if and Fancy is saying I didn't say things that weren't true. So the only way to
no problem.
really get to the bottom of some of that is going to be
is that I always listen to YouTube and stuff while doing housework and everything. Like, I listen to Morbid while I'm making dinner. Just kidding. His channel is going downhill. He's losing content. He won't leave Dreamcatcher alone. He's really pestering her. I tried going in Dreamcatcher's TikTok lives and telling her, quit giving morbid content. And me and a bunch of other people were like, Morbid's out of content. Everybody's seeing it. I saw other people say this. Like, everybody's seeing it going, Morbid's out of content. And so he's bullying you for content because he's out of content. Did you guys hear how bad he bullied a guy from Dreamers yesterday? He bullied the shit out of this guy. The whole panel bullied the shit out of this guy. Here, let me remark on this because I know what he's talking about, okay? Each state is different. Each state has different laws, but they're all kind of similar in a way. I was at my in-laws' house 7 years ago. Okay? 7 years ago, I wanted to hop on somebody's live and tell my story and back this guy up. Because here's what I'm going to tell you, okay? 7 years ago, I was at my in-laws' house. I just dropped by to hand him a picture of my daughter because school pictures had come out. And I had to go pick up my son, my 17-year-old son, like 4 blocks away from my in-laws' house. So I told my son, give me a second. I'm just going to go drop this picture off. I left my keys in the ignition. I left my purse, my phone, everything on the driver's side of the car. I went to their house, knocked on their door, handed her the picture, and she said, Rose, I need to talk to you. And I was like, well, I got to go and I was pointing to the car, and I was trying to motion to the car and be like, well, I got my son in the car. I got to go. And she opened the door really wide and she says, no, Rose, I really need to talk to you. And see, me and my mother-in-law are not on very good terms. Anyways, during the course of our hour-and-a-half conversation, she had told me that if I was going to be contentious or whatever, I needed to leave. She finally got to a point and said, okay, Rose, you just need to go. And she went and got up and she opened the door. And I was so defeated because I was trying really hard to work things out with my mother-in-law. And for her to ask me to leave means I screwed up again. And I didn't want to go home and tell my husband that I screwed up with his mom. Because my husband didn't even know I was at his parents' house. My husband thought I was picking up my son real quick. He didn't even know I was there. I wasn't even supposed to be there. So I didn't want to leave. I did not know that once she asked me to leave, even though she invited me in, once she asked me to leave, I didn't know I was trespassing and breaking the law. They called the cops on me. And I was charged in court for trespassing because I didn't leave when I was told to leave. And so, yes, if you're at somebody's house and it is not your house and you are told to leave and you do not leave, you are breaking the law. And you will be charged with trespassing. You will be arrested and you will be charged. You don't have to do anything. As long as you don't leave. When somebody tells you to leave their home, it doesn't matter why you came over. It doesn't matter who asked you to come into the home. Nothing matters except for the fact that they asked you to leave. It doesn't mean you did anything wrong or bad. Exactly. If you didn't leave and they called the cops, you get charged with trespassing. And it's that simple. And they bullied a guy for shit they don't understand. And they didn't even want to listen. They didn't even want to understand. They didn't want to listen. They didn't want to understand. And so because it was his, and it can be, so in Utah, when a fight happens, a domestic abuse or a fight happens, they now made a new law that somebody has to get arrested. If you call the cops about a domestic fight and they come over about domestic abuse, somebody's going to that cop car. And the cop will go there and judge who gets arrested. And it doesn't mean they arrest the correct person, because my husband had a coworker who got in a fight with her husband, I guess in the middle of the night. They were naked. And he harassed and beat her and kicked her out of the house naked. She called the cops. And the cop arrested her. She called the cops because her boyfriend abused her and kicked her out of the home. And because it was his home, she got arrested. The laws are messed up. And that was horrible and awful what they did to that guy. Because whenever you call the cops, somebody's getting arrested and somebody's getting charged. And it doesn't mean you did anything wrong. It doesn't mean you put your hands on somebody. It doesn't mean, and yes, if a child is present, my dad hit my husband in front of my 3 children, and he got a felony charge for that because he hit my husband with children present. And so, yeah, that's why he was trying to tell them, look, me and my ex are on good terms. We're fine with each other now. It was one bad night, one bad fight while they were in the middle of filing their divorce. Things got heated. She called the cops. It's her house. Yes, he's going to get arrested for that because it's her house. And if there's a child present, the charge gets bigger. And so it's so stupid because I was like, oh man, I want to hop on somebody's panel and defend this guy. So bad. Because I know exactly what he's talking about. This is why doxing people is bad. Because you dox somebody and the charges don't always match what happened. The story the cops put down isn't always what happened. And that's why sometimes charges get dismissed or get a plea deal with a lesser charge or something, because once it gets to court, I had a cop tell me one time, well, we'll just file charges and it'll get ironed out in court. Because that's what cops think. The cops are like, well, the truth will come out in court then, right? So the cops charge people and they figure that you and your lawyer will just sort it out in court and things will be fine. But they're not fine because somebody's always I forgot what I was going to say. But things don't get ironed out once they hit court sometimes. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. In me and my husband's case, things got ironed out better than we thought. Because cops just throw charges. They throw up a story from their point of view. And they figure, well, the courts will iron it out. Everything will be ironed out in court. Because it's the prosecutor, their job is to convince the jury that their side of the story is correct. And all your job is on the defendant's side is to put up evidence against their evidence to show they're not meeting the burden of proof. People don't get what court is. Court is the state having to show burden of proof without beyond a reasonable doubt. And a lot of people don't understand what beyond a reasonable doubt means. Beyond a reasonable doubt means, as a jury member, You have to be 99.9% sure the person did this crime. Because if there's any doubt that they did not do this crime, you cannot convict them. If you have any doubt, you have to be so sure they did the crime that the cops are saying they did, or you have to let them go. You have to find them innocent. And so, as the defense, you just sit there and watch the prosecution put on their show, trying to prove that you did this crime. And all you have to do is put up a little bit of evidence showing, look, they're not meeting the burden of proof. Because it's the state's job to meet that burden of proof. To at least. They don't punish cops. Like the cops in me and my husband's case, there should be cops and DCFS people that should be demoted, fired, punished for what they did to me and my husband and our kids. By the way, yeah, if nobody's checked Discord, I put up some really fun videos and pictures of the kids today. We went to a park called the International Peace Gardens. It's a park where there's different mini gardens from different countries, like China and Scotland and Sweden and like Norway and stuff like that. And people create these gardens that represent their country in some way. They put stuff in the garden that represents their countries. Very beautiful garden. My son got married there a couple years ago. Me and my first husband, my oldest son's father, we took our engagement photos there like 20 some odd years ago, 25, 26 years ago. We took our engagement photos there. And then my son, his father, Don's not his biological father, but Don adopted him, so Don is his legal father. So yeah, we went to that park today because that park is like, I don't know, it's our family apparently really likes that park. I've been going there since I was 18 to that park. I took my engagement photos there. My son got married there. When 9/11 happened and we got released from work, me and my mother-in-law, my first mother-in-law, not my current mother-in-law, but my first mother-in-law, and my mom and my two boys went to that park. We spent the day at the International Peace Gardens the day 9/11 happened. We decided that was a good place to go spend our time while 9/11 was happening. So this park has a huge history in my family. And they were having some kind of fair going on today. And my kids got their face painted and they got to play musical instruments and sing and have fun. And it was a really great day at the park. Because my mom said, well, you're going to come pick up the kids today. We got a lot of dangerous parks around us. Where are you going to take the kids? Because my mom said the only safe park is the International Peace Gardens. And I said, why not? I said, I'll take the kids there for the day. So we went and took the kids there for the day. So yeah, it was a fun, good day. So yeah, it was a good fun day today, and then I came home and took a nap because I was so tired. And then I was like, I do want to get to streaming sometime today, but I said I don't want to stream tired, because when I stream tired, I look like I'm high. People are like, "Are you high, Rose?" No, I'm sorry, I'm just tired. My meds also make me tired, and so I can't stream while I'm taking my meds, and I have to not take my meds and be ready to stream, because if I take my meds and stuff, they'll make me tired and then I can't stream. And so yeah, we had a good busy day today. It was hot. My face was sweating all day today. I kept taking off my sunglasses and wiping down my face, and oh gosh, it was a hot, sweaty day today. Like, oh man, it was every time we hit shade, I sat down for a minute because I was like, I need a break. Like, sorry, I need a break. So yeah. Yeah, that was horrible last night. So this community's just going crazy. I'm now calling it a cult. Like 13th hour, we could talk about that cult that's starting to form. The cult of the Gypsy Rose community. I don't know who the leaders are yet, but it's looking like, I'm not going to say their name because I don't want to be like sued because I said their name. But it looks like there's a leader forming. Because people are DMing me stuff, and I'm going, yes, there's something going on in the background. There's obviously things going on in the background, because I have people DMing me when I posted a picture going, Rose, what's going on? And I'm like, yeah, there's definitely stuff going on in the background that there's definitely stuff going on in the background. 1 minute people are saying something, and then the next day they're on stream going, I don't need to explain this to you guys. And that's also kind of really crazy and rude, because everybody's going, well, I don't need to explain to my fans. I don't need to explain to you guys why I am now all of a sudden acting this way. And it's rude that they don't think that they owe their viewers that support them an explanation. Start stealing content. Right now, I swear to God, Fancy, allegedly, in my opinion, she stole my content and she won't credit me for it. I'm the one who said that body was lying diagonal, and when you sleep next to another person and you go to bed before them, you don't sleep in the middle of the bed or diagonally on the bed or however you want, because you have to, you know that somebody's going to come in and lay next to you, so you sleep on your side of the bed. The fact that the body was diagonal, and then I'm the one who said that there was no blood on the bed, that mattress should have been soaked. I said some of this stuff on Morbid's live, and then Morbid shut me down, so I went and said it on my own live. And now all of a sudden, Fancy's had these photos for over 5 years. And now she is saying that shit that I said. And that's one reason why I'm tired of going on Morbid's panel. Because Nina lurks and Fancy lurks and they all lurk. And next thing I know, my content that I say, the stuff that I came up with, is now being said on their channels. And I'm like, you can't throw me a tiny little shred of just a tiny little shout out. No, you're gonna act like you. I watched Fancy and Mac. It was after Pink Hat Sarah left, and then Fancy and Mac were kind of new, and they were like, "Oh, you guys, check out the crime scene photos. Look, no blood," and they were acting in awe, like they just made this major discovery that nobody else had made. Go look at my videos. I said that before they did. I said it on Morbid's panel. I said it on my streams. And now Fancy's saying it all of a sudden. So either it's the biggest coincidence in the whole world, or yeah, they can steal my shit because I'm not monetized. I'm not a big streamer. I only have a few people watching my channel. I don't know how to get into the algorithm a little bit better. I think I didn't. I should have been smart enough when I was doing Gypsy content to change my tags to Gypsy Rose and stuff. I didn't. Speaking of tags, what 13th Hour wants me to tag us Tradwife. I don't know why people are getting down on Tradwives. If somebody wants to live that lifestyle, let them. And what? Because you live a lifestyle that that somebody doesn't agree with, you're not allowed to stream it. They also buy, yeah. You're like, they also buy views, damn it. They get bigger. Folks think they come up with the content. Yeah. Well, we all know, and I've been saying this for a while, we all know that Fancy can't come up with her own content. Name something that Fancy has brought out to the community, and we'll tell you who's behind it. Oh, the chromosome disorder? Colleen discovered that. Fancy didn't. Colleen discovered that. But now Fancy's claiming it because it's her company. The company that nobody gets paid at. Fancy owns a company that apparently their DBA or whatever, their LTD is expired. And nobody gets paid at this company. They all work there for free. Pink Hat Sarah came out saying how much they work you like a dog day and night because Fancy sometimes doesn't sleep and works you at nights, allegedly. And because this is what Pink Hat Sarah's saying, so we don't know if it's out of anger or what. But they work you and they don't pay you. But even when she watched the Dr. Phil, she watched the Dr. Phil thing, and Gypsy said she had microcephaly. Like, that didn't even trigger Fancy to look into what microcephaly actually was. But now that Colleen discovered the chromosome disorder, Fancy understands why Gypsy said the words microcephaly. But she has this company. They discover things. They write her books. They write her documentary. And then she is the name and the face of it all. And then, yeah, she lurks in Morbid streams, and people like Morbid who have open panels. I've heard Nina steal my shit before. And that's how people started coming from Morbid's channel to my channel, because I started complaining about Nina. And Nina coming into Morbid's stream only to steal content. She listens to Morbid's panel, and then she steals the panel, what the panel says. And so people lurk. Because everybody got mad, and they're like, why doesn't Nina come on panel? Well, Nina's not going to come on panel because she's here to steal content. I'm surprised she even says hi and lets people know she's floating in the background. It's like, if you're here to steal content, why don't you stay incognito? You let everybody know you're here. So tomorrow when you make a video and you say what I said, well, I saw you in Morbid's stream, so I know where you got it from. And if you're still going, no, I got to go to bed. It's 10 o'clock. I got to go to bed. I just wanted to stream for a little bit tonight, and I didn't know if 13th Hour could stream. I was hoping 13th Hour could stream. But I guess we'll be back Monday for 13th Hour's birthday, guys. So Monday is the 9th. It's 13th Hour's birthday. We're preparing a special stream. We're working on a special stream right now for 13th Hour. So we'll come back on Monday. Let me talk over a time with 13th Hour, and I'll post it in May and Stuff's Discord, so you guys know what time. And yeah, let's celebrate 13th Hour's birthday on Monday. So you guys have a good night. Yeah, and thank you for talking and no problem about talking about the school shooter, because I didn't know whether to talk about that or not, because it's a little bit of a touchy subject. But I'm upset more at the FBI and crap, and that shooting never should have happened. I swear, this country purposely lets horrible things happen. They purposely do. You guys, I mean, we all know that 9/11, everybody knows not to believe that it was exactly a terrorist act, or they knew about it and they let it happen. They let it happen. They wanted it. They didn't like them skyscrapers anyways. So they didn't care that they got blown up. They didn't care. They didn't care that it killed thousands of people on the way down. They wanted to start a war, and killing a few thousand Americans, yeah, that'll get people to okay a war. But yeah, you guys have a good night. I'm going to go to bed, and you guys go do your thing, and then let's come back Monday for 13th Hour's birthday, and we'll have a really good stream that day. And yeah, love you guys tons. You guys have a good night. See. All right. Yeah, I'll talk to you on Discord and stuff, Brian. Or Chewy. Sorry, Chewy. Scratch that, Chewy.